Well, hello, it's, what's it, Friday today, is it? Friday. We just got a phone call from the computer store. It tells me my video card's been returned from warranty, so we're just going to pop into the mall and pick that up. But I was just speaking with Aussie Rider on Facebook, and he was asking me a lot of questions. Oh, it's done that again. Jeez. Oh my God. Yeah, so he was asking me a lot of questions about the requirements for the O-A Retirement Visa, so I thought we meant to make that video for a while, so I might just get to that today while we're having a wander around the shops. So I don't think I remember. Did you remember me talking about being tall in Thailand? This is the car park in the mall. That's how close it is to my head. And this is obviously a good clearance. Some places here you have to duck. What's you looking at, darling? What you see?
Look at anything.
You just like come to the mall. You like go to the mall. She just likes shopping at the mall. Yeah.
Wow.
Hoi. I also must get around to working out how to pay her telephone account online. I have absolutely no problem with DTAC. It's the site's in English and makes it so much easier. We went to the Big C Extra to pay the phone bill. Her phone bill was it 2 days ago, and their internet link was down. Don't you just love True? True as an internet provider, and you couldn't pay their bills because their internet link was down. Oh my God. What we got at the mall today, darling? Okay, watch sale. Not one new Narika. I have new watch, not a new one. Yeah, so what was I going to get around to talk about? That's right, the whole O-A Retirement Visa thing. Now, people on my channel have asked me a few times about, how that whole thing works, and I've answered each person within the comment section of the YouTube channel. But of course, most people don't read that, so it doesn't get to everybody. So I was talking with Aussie Rider today on Facebook. He's just one of the channel supporters who comes in and leaves his comments every so often. Always good to have repeat people coming into the channel and saying hello. They get to know each other, or we get to know each other and sort of get to know him more. And like in his case, we linked up on Facebook, and he actually comes from the same industry as what I was in, which is the IT infrastructure management sort of section of computer systems. Anyway, he was just talking today about the whole O-A visa and what I had to go through and what's required. And I thought, rather than sort of, again, well, I did answer him on Facebook, but in this case here, I said, you don't mind me sort of calling her out on the video for today? And he says, absolutely no problem at all. Anyway, so where were we? Yeah, first up, I just realised it's only Thursday. I think I opened this video saying it was Friday. That's what retirement has for you guys. You just completely forget what day it is. But anyway, how do you achieve this whole thing of retirement early when you can actually enjoy yourself? I was also reading an article about the Australian government planning to introduce a new system for retirement and pension and everything else, where you'll take an interest-free loan on your house. That's going to pay you your pension. Oh my God! Like when I started working, 40 years ago, the whole idea was, you work to 40 years, and then the government will take care of you, right? That's why you paid your taxes, right? Why we now are being told 40 years after starting that particular plan that it's no longer the case, because they've spent all the money that we put away for retirement for stupid things like wars and other things like that, which, well, I don't want to go into the whole thing, but to me that's like, that's enough for the human race or the citizens of Australia. They should be thinking about getting up and revolting against the government and just work with their MPs to issue a vote of no confidence, because I've absolutely got no confidence in that government. I have nothing to do with that government anymore. Like, I'm not in an electoral role anymore, simply because of the fact that the whole place is going to ruin. But anyway, what do you need to do if you want to get living in Thailand? I've got to stay on subject, haven't I? Well, anyway, so the O-A visa, now first, before I say anything else, I'm also going to put the disclaimer in. I am not a financial advisor, right? So any financial advice I'm giving you here is just my personal experience. I'm not a professional, right? I'm also not an expert on immigration law. So again, anything I'm telling you here, I would expect you to be sort of taking this information as just my experience and not the rule. One of the reasons is the fact that Thailand, they can change the rules anytime and not even tell you. Okay, so from the Thailand side, now that we've got the disclaimer out of the way, specifically O-A Retirement Visa, what do you need for that? In my case, it was just simply going to the Thai consulate in Australia, and that's something you will need to do. You'll need to obviously go to the consulate in your own country to find out what exactly is required. Right, but in my case, right, I had to show that I could support myself financially. Right, that was stipulation one. Now, when I say supporting yourself financially, what did that entail? Well, that was just basically showing them my bank accounts, all right, and I had to have a minimum of the equivalent of 800,000 baht in the bank, right? If I didn't have that, right, I'd have to then show them a document from some sort of financial security body to say that I am being paid a monthly income of the equivalent of 65,000 baht. She still wants me to buy her a new phone.
For a long time, 3 years ago now.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, you need to wait for about 3 years to because.
He want me change for iPhone, iOS, but he want me pay Android.
Yeah, I want you to have Android. Then I can help you with the problems. Like, she gets all sorts of problems with the iPhone, and like, honestly, I really haven't got the time to work the Thai interface on a phone I'm not familiar with, right? And I really resent the whole marketing strategy of Apple, right? Simply because of the fact that they use next to nothing like slave labour out of China to put these phones together, and they charge a fortune for the phones. The parts and materials of an iPhone cost no less than $100, yet they want sort of $1,000 for these phones. It's ridiculous. Again, sidetracked. Oh, not the shiny object. Let's go to there. Staying on track is so hard for me. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so you've got to. I had to show that I had money in an account. That was what I was getting at. That was stipulation number one. I also had to get a medical certificate, which was signed off by a doctor to say I didn't have 4 specific diseases and a drug problem. I think the diseases were leprosy, tuberculosis, syphilis or one of those STDs, and like me, I can't remember what the other one was. And the 5th one was a urine test to make sure I hadn't been taking drugs. Once I got the medical certificate, the 3rd thing I needed was to get what they call a police report to say that I had no convictions, so I was an upstanding and sort of good citizen in Australia. Those were the 3 stipulations. There was nothing else, and that was And then it was just basically identification, like passports is normal stuff you fly with. So that was allowed. What got me the O-A visa. It's only issued in the country of origin. You can't get that in Thailand. I think you can get it, but they don't give it to you on an annual basis. I think they only give you 3 or 6 months. But to get the first full 12 months, you've got to get it in the country of origin. Right. Once you get to Thailand, then you go every year and you can then get a 1-year extension on that visa. And I think that's the way it works. If you get it in country, you'll only get a 3 months O-A visa, and you've got to get it extended 3 months by 3 months or something like that. I'm not quite sure. The best thing that I know is to actually get the visa issued in your country of origin. Right, so that was that's the O-A visa part of it. You have to be 50 years of age, right, which means you've got to show the fact that you are at the Thailand retirement age, which is 50. I don't know if that's actually the retirement age. People work longer than 50 years in Thailand. But to qualify, you've got to be 50 years of age. So that's the visa requirements side of things. And definitely if there are options there, if you marry a Thai, and the fact that that requirement's only 400,000 baht or 32,500 baht per month income. Unfortunately, because of the way the Thai law works over here, the two of us can't qualify for that because the Thailand government doesn't recognise what they call the gender reassignment process for male to female. So as far as Thailand's concerned, they don't approve same-sex marriage even if she's had a gender reassignment. So that sort of scratches that one for us for when we get married, but it was something I never banked on anyway. I still don't think she's worked out the fact that if you watch video on 4G on Facebook, it's going to suck your internet dry. Oh my God. Anyway, where was I? Yes. What did we talk about? That's right. We're talking about the visa. Okay, one of the things about the visa, right? There's this whole thing of the 800,000 baht. I have mentioned it before, but again, I'll sort of tell you what I did. Right, in my case, right, I decided to switch my banking accounts to Citibank. And one of the reasons why I switched to Citibank is the fact that Citibank does have a sort of a local presence here in Thailand, or at least in Bangkok anyway, which means the fact that I could have my money sitting in Australian accounts and easily transfer money between Australia and Thailand. Right. The best thing about that is I can transfer Australian dollars directly to my Australian dollar holding account here in Citibank Thailand, right? And there is 0 fees to do that, and it's instantaneous, right? Then I just simply drop an email to my account manager here in Thailand and say, okay, that $2,500 I transferred from Australia to Thailand, I'd like you to convert that to Thai baht. Now, the best thing about that part of it is the fact that when I do the transfer from within Thailand, which means Thailand is buying Australian dollars from me, it's actually a better rate than if I was in Australia buying Thai baht, because Australia, quite honestly, doesn't want to buy Thai baht, right? Whereas Thailand does want to buy Australian dollars, so this is a better rate. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but these are the sort of things you need to look at when you're working in the money market. So what I did, once I moved here on the O-A visa, I then had the option there where I could take that visa into Citibank, which allowed me to open up the account, right? Trying to get an account in Thailand without that official visa is really not something that I like to do. I heard some banks do it, but most of them don't want to have anything to do with it. There's all the money laundering situations and so on and so forth that they're trying to avoid. Right, so you need the visa. You need the visa for opening that bank account. So what I did once I got the visa, once I got into Thailand, I then put $1 million baht into Thailand, which is about $41,000. So I transferred the $41,000 from Australia to Thailand and bought the $1 million baht. The reason why I chose $1 million baht is the fact that the Citibank account meant that there were zero fees, and they give you an ATM card, and the ATM card allows you to draw the money from that account with zero ATM fees, which is one of the things that always slugged me on my trips, is the fact that any time you wanted to draw money out of Australia, not only had to go with the Australian bank buying Thai baht, but you also had to go through and spend, I think it was 180 baht, or now it's 200 baht, to do an ATM withdrawal. So, you know, that's like slugging you an extra $6 or $7 just for the courtesy of getting your money out of the bank. Definitely something you need to look into. There are ways and better ways of doing this. Transferring between banks is not usually the best thing again, because there's all these extra fees to use their interbank SWIFT system, which is just another way of slugging you for extra dollars. Anyway, so I set up the $1 million baht in the account, right, and unfortunately the thing I don't like about that is the fact that there's $1 million baht sitting in an account that gets 0.03% interest. I just have to live with that, but I guess the no interest account means I don't have anything to worry about Thailand and earning money in Thailand, because even interest on your accounts in Thailand, I think, can somehow be stipulated as being earning an income in Thailand, which then could be prohibiting your visa or whatever. So I don't want to know about it. And as I said before, I do tend to ramble off a bit too much. That's why the internet chats work better, because I can keep on subject. But anyway, so as for the whole Citibank thing, people have asked me what is the investment account. And what it's called is called a Citibank Market Linked Investment. Now, you can go to their Citibank website in Australia and look for this, and there is absolutely zero information. It's something that you'll only be told about once you sign some documentation within the Citibank banking system, because I don't know, there's some sort of stipulation, the fact that they don't let these things known in public. I don't know what it means, but anyway, so once you are a Citibank member, you are you do have an option to leverage this particular account. In my case, the account pays 7.5% interest on the investment money. It pays you a quarterly stipend, which means that every 3 months I get a deposit in my other Citibank account from Citibank from that market-linked investment. That's sort of like my spending money. Now, that spending money isn't the $2,500 a month which is required for the visa. That's why I have the 1 million baht locked in the account in Thailand. If we were married, and if we could get married, it's definitely enough to satisfy the monthly income requirement. Which does mean the fact that I do draw a bit on my other savings from my other accounts, but it's minuscule. I definitely sort of work within that budget. So I set my budget at $2,500. I get quite extravagant with some of the things I buy. But I noticed, like, after 10 months now, I've bought everything I really wanted to buy. And now we're getting down to spending probably less than maybe 40,000 baht a month, or maybe 50,000 at the top end. Even including running off to, like places like UTR and Sapanduri, for a day trip. Like just in those day trips, there's 1,000 baht to put fuel in the car. But this is what you do. When you're enjoying the easy life and not having to show up for work every day. Anyway, getting down to the whole investment sort of thing, right? One thing I did want to sort of throw in here is most people in Australia are obviously a part of the employment system out there, where there is a guaranteed 9% of your income that gets put away into a retirement fund. This is a law that is mandatory for all employment in Australia, and that is supposed to be for your retirement. So exactly why the government wants to sort of, also say that you have to mortgage your house to get a pension. I don't think anybody's really listening to these people because it's absolutely crazy. So what have we got on at the cinemas at the moment? Okay, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming in 3D Thai, in Thai. Yes, there is an English version with Thai subtitles.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Transformers in Thai. Despicable Me in Thai. Great choice, isn't it? Of course, if I went to the city, if I went to Contep, then I'd get a better option with the English language. Oh, these are specials. Movie combo, 309 baht, 259 baht. Oh my God. Looks good though. Of course, the SF Cinema is actually quite a nice cinema to go to. What's the ad for that one? That looks good. What's this one? Something new coming out? Some sort of virtual reality thing? No idea. I think it's called Kill Switch. I don't even know what that movie's about. I haven't seen it advertised, but I'll just check it out. Anyway, getting back to the investments. So about maybe 2000, 2001, I was looking at different options. Right, I found out that you didn't have to take the options that employment gave you for the retirement funds that the organisation puts you in. You do actually have free choice in the market on that, and I discussed that with a financial advisor. She wants to go. Oh, you want to go? What do you want? You want to go play games? Oh my God! What do you want?
Only 10.
Yeah, well, so you want to play?
You give me 10 baht.
Yeah, 10 baht. Okay.
I want more.
No, you go play yourself. Anyway, so my thought back then, being sort of, about, I think in those days, 40 years old, or around about, I thought, well, 65 sort of seems such a long way away. Who's to guarantee you'd ever be around when you're 65, with all the potential wars that are going to take place? So I just said to my financial advisor, I says, what's the highest risk account investment I can take that I just put my superannuation account in? And he structured me a portfolio which was what they call a high gain investment account, but using that, well, back then I think it was 5% or 6%, it's now 9%. So all that superannuation money was shoved into what they call a high interest or market linked account. What that meant is the fact that it was getting a good return. Like returns in that account at the moment are still around the 10% mark, better than probably any other sort of fund, and it's actually with Colonial Mutual, Colonial something. It's Colonial. It's part of the Commonwealth Bank system. But yeah, it's a market-linked account. It doesn't pay me a stipend, but as I said, it does achieve about a 10% per annum. It took a big slug in 2008 in the GFC. I lost about 30% of its value, right? So it's high risk, but high gain. And again, when you're looking at market investments, you've got to look at these sort of things. They will give you good returns, but the more risk you take, the higher the returns. That's the way it works. But when you look at the charts over a 10-year period, even back then when I looked at the account, it had a good track record. Once I had 100,000 in that account, I could actually take it to a wholesale account, which even gave me better returns. But that money's still in that account. I'm not leveraging that money. I can't use that as any stipulation for my visa. But as I said, the interest on that just reinvests. I pay the tax on that interest, and it just keeps on rolling over. If I found a better fund or something equivalent that's paid me a stipend, then I'd probably take that as well. I'd take the money out. I actually am entitled, once you turn, being born in 61, I think between 60 and 65 births means the fact that you have to be 56 years old. to get that pull that money out early. So here we are, so at the computer shop. Looks like what they've done is they've actually replaced the graphics card. I'll whack that in tonight and have a look at it and run my same diagnostics tests. But I'm guessing the fact that it's just a rare occurrence that these things here will fail. So this store is called IT City. It's one of the biggest computer retailers here in Thailand. You'll find their stores all over the place, but I felt safe spending my money here, and they've been pretty good with me. Looks like they're doing a whole remodeling, as most stores do. Anyway, so again, I've just sidetracked. Definitely have a look at these types of superannuation accounts in Australia, because if you're in your 30s or even in your late 20s, well, you can do it any time. But I think the biggest problem is the fact that people don't want to take personal responsibility. Right? They think that she wants to play on one of these now. Why you like this stuff? But it is one of the problems that we get for society. People elect the government simply so that they don't have to take personal responsibility. They think the government will take care of it. Well, like back in the late 90s, in those days when you're looking at the year 2K bug, or whatever they called it, and there's the crap that was going on back then, you soon learn that the government's not going to take any responsibility whatsoever if shit hits the fan. But yeah, they're going to expect you to pay for it. The real thing is, in this day and age, you have to take personal responsibility for everything in your life, right? Don't expect somebody else to do it for you, right? Things exist out there to make things work, right? As I said, these special superannuation accounts that you can set up that get decent interest, have risk attached, but you might as well get something that's going to work twice as hard for you, right? If it's something that you have to pay anyway out of your wages, Anyway, I don't want to go off on too much of a rant. This is some of the things that like I was taught. I know was, for me, I was into superannuation before it was a mandated situation that the government made you pay, or the government made the employment system pay. She wants to go this way now. Anyway, so that's how I've done my situation. Everybody's case is going to be different, so you need to just do your research. Find out what is going to work. The points I've raised here are the things that are specific to me. I'm sure that there are going to be other things specific to everybody else. But if you take personal care and responsibility from a young age, so when you start the workforce, stop going to the clubs once a week and put that money into an investment account. 10% of your income into a high interest account or a high market linked account investment where you can't touch the money and you keep on adding to it. If you put 10% of your income away after tax into these accounts, the government can't touch it. The banking systems are probably about the most secure in the world. You're going to have a better option of retirement, and at an age where you can actually enjoy it. You've got to start to seriously think about this stuff. And that's for Aussie Rider. It's a bit of a shame that his employment situation has collapsed around him. He's not quite reached the age of 50 yet, and so he's a bit stuck for his options. But as I said, definitely have a look at that market-linked account in Citibank for that payment they made for you. It'll definitely be sort of putting you in the right position, further down the track. But what you're going to do now, buddy, I really don't know. Getting employment over here in Thailand is just a mug's game. You'll have to find an international firm who will obviously organise you that visa to work in the country. And that's obviously a bit of a stretch for most people as well, because there is only a limited number of employment opportunities that you're allowed to be employed here in Thailand. I don't know the list is, but I'm pretty sure IT is one of the industries that doesn't really have anything written down as being prohibited. I know sort of architecture. There was a recent article I came across, architecture. The guy that designed that building looks like a Tetris block. There's a whole hoo-ha going about that because the designer was working in Thailand, right? Yet he's employed by an international firm who hadn't applied for the right grants and stipulations, and they put up a multi-billion-dollar building. Yet it's against the law because it wasn't designed by a Thai. Some strange stuff goes on here, I tell you. But anyway, so look, this is a bit of a different video. Me with a bit of FaceTime for a change. A lot of FaceTime. Sorry guys if you don't like my face. Sometimes you just have to put up with it. I've been trying to sort of give you a bit of information that might help you down the track. And again, we're going to over 1,000 subscribers to the channel. If I can help, 1 or 2 people out of 1,000, I feel I've done my job well. The other 998,000 people who want to whinge and complain and say that I'm trying to sort of use people and all sorts of things like that. Look, grow up, get a life. Just because your life is not working for you, don't take it out on my channel. I sorted my shit out long ago. So just deal with it. I can help a couple of people, that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, see you guys later. Don't forget the Patreon thing, what do you call it, the PayPal thing. They all help buy a cup of coffee, and they are gifts as well. So there's no stipulation. It's not employment. I don't know why people get so up in arms about that. Right, if you think we're worth a cup of coffee, yeah. I know you can either fly them, give me one for a flight and a cup of coffee, or you just drop a couple of bucks in the PayPal account. Yep, always works. Anyway, I'll catch up with you guys later, and we'll see you next video. Bye for now.